What's going on, YouTube? This is going to be a video about cigars. This isn't something that I see many guys talk about in the EDC community. And since that's mostly who looks at my channel, I wanted to go over, I don't want to say my EDC, but the stuff that I carry in my backpack a good majority of the time, just in case I have the opportunity to smoke a cigar. I really enjoy cigars. I have since I was 18. Basically everything that I wasn't allowed to do growing up became my favorite things to do once I left the house. I'm sure most of y'all can definitely understand that. This, guns, knives, smoking, these were all big no-nos in my house growing up. And so when I turned 18, I bought a gun, I bought a knife, and I bought some cigars, and have been hooked ever since. So what I figured I would do is I would just show you what I carry now, and a few other things, and we'll go into those shortly. So what do you need to smoke a cigar, right? So you need a cutter, unless you have the shop do it for you, which they usually will do happily. You have multiple kinds of cuts, over a straight or a V or a punch, lighters, humidors, travel humidors. Plus you gotta have a good drink with it, like Jack and Coke or something, whatever, some whiskey, whatever you want to drink. So anyways, this is what I carry in my backpack right now. So I carry a 511 Rush 24 pack, and for those of y'all who know this pack, there's two pouches on the sides of the pack that are pretty hidden actually, but it's perfect because I can stick this on one side and this on the other. And what these are is, this is a homemade pouch that I made, and it carries my cutter and my lighter, the two things that I carry, the cutter and the lighter that I carry whenever I travel. And we'll go into those in just a second. But this is the humidor that I carry. This is a travel humidor. This is actually a knockoff from, I'm trying to think who, this color, Cohiba. Anyways, this is a knockoff of a Cohiba cigar humidor. This is a 3-finger humidor. And for those of y'all who don't know, a finger is just a cigar. So whenever you hear anybody refer to 1 finger, 2 finger, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, that's the number of cigars that it will hold. This is a 3-finger humidor, so it will hold 3 cigars, okay? And the only reason I'm trying to dumb it down a little bit is because when I got into this, nobody explained this stuff. This was all shit you just had to learn. So anyways, the 3-finger cigar humidor. I think this one was about $20 or $25. I don't actually know, but because it was actually a gift from my brother-in-law, and I have to admit, it was probably one of the best gifts I've ever received. This is aircraft grade aluminum. It has a built-in hydrometer, which is awesome. It is completely waterproof, airtight. So actually I have some trash from my last smoke. Sorry about that, I forgot that was in there actually. So anyways, at the bottom, it's a little sponge that you pour your, either your distilled water or your solution or whatever, to keep the moisture in the humidor at a certain level. Now, in a normal humidor, I seem to only achieve roughly a 60% humidity level. 60, 65, 70 if it's right after I fill it. But this guy, because it's completely airtight, will usually sit at 90 to 100% all the time. I like that. To me, I kind of like a more moist cigar. Some people like a drier cigar, some people like it right in the middle. It really just depends. But the one good thing is that if you have a cigar that you accidentally left out and it started to dry up a little bit, you can throw it in this guy for a while and it'll just kind of you know, put it through moisture rehab. It'll moisten it back up for you, which is really nice if you have a really good cigar that you want to smoke and you don't want to waste it, but then again, you don't want to smoke it when it's super dry. So anyways, this is actually my favorite travel humidor. So what do you start with when you first start into cigars? So I'll show you the first things that I ever bought when I first started getting into cigars. And that was a 3-finger humidor. I didn't have a full-size humidor in my room, like a wooden nice humidor. I had this guy, and I had this lighter. That was it. I didn't have a cutter. I didn't have anything like that. So what I did is I actually just would have the store cut all the cigars that I buy. Now, given back then I didn't smoke as many as I do now. But, you know, they just cut them. I'd throw them in here. I'd fill this guy with some solution. And I would use this lighter. And this is a very budget friendly. So if you're just getting in, I think this guy's like probably like $5 or $10. And this is a Cigar lighter. You don't have to have a Cigar lighter. I've always just really enjoyed Cigar because they're just really good quality. They have a great warranty. I had a problem with this isn't actually the original lighter, but I had a problem with this one, and I took it into a cigar shop, and they said, here's a brand new one. That's Zicar's warranty. If it needs to be fixed or replaced, they'll fix it or replace it right there in the store. No questions asked. You don't have to mail it off or anything like that, which I think is completely awesome. So this lighter, I think I paid like $25 or $30 for, plus $5 or $10 for this little 3-finger travel humidor. Now this lighter is a single torch, okay, which is all I needed. And still to this day, if I'm going to pocket a lighter, this is the one that I stick in my pocket because I'm not afraid to scratch it up. So anyways, these are the things that I used to carry all the time, and I just slowly upgraded over time. So the things that I carry now is a V cutter and this lighter. And I honestly cannot remember the name of this particular Cigar, but I mean, if you're interested, you can look it up. But anyways, this is an aluminum V cutter. Before I bought this one, I purchased this one, which was pretty cheap, but it had both. It had a straight edge and a V cut all in one, which I thought was really cool actually. And till this day, I still carry this one, like on camping trips and things like that. I will take this cutter with me, just in case I lose it. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on a cutter. I know this particular cutter, I think was $40 or $50 or something, and this lighter was probably $50 or $60. I don't really remember, but it was just an upgrade from this stuff. This lighter is a dual torch, as you can see there. It gives a really nice toast. It also has a built-in punch. So if you have a cigar, and just a second, let me get one if I can. Get one of these Sultan Granadas that my dad brought me back from some foreign country. Anyway, so if you have a cigar like this and it's flat, you can use the V cut, you can use a straight cut, or you can use a punch. So the punch, you would just stick in right there, you push down, you twist a little bit, you pop it out, boom, instant hole. Okay, so that's a punch. So I don't really ever use a punch, except I actually just used it for the first time recently, and it was on the Java lattes. That's the style cigar. It was a Java latte, and it was humongous, and it was squared, so it was a really awkward shape to stick in the cutter. So anyways, that was the first time I'd ever used a punch. My preferences are for a V cut. I just like the way it draws I like the I just like it more than a straight cut. It's also kind of idiot proof. So if you've been drinking a little bit, not that I would ever do this, of course, you can't really screw it up. You just stick it all the way down and you close. Which, if you use a straight cutter like this one, you can screw that up. See, you have a lot of room for error there. So if you're not paying attention, you can cut off too much, which really sucks. So anyways, this was just a leather pouch that I made for it. Wasn't super hard. I just took a piece of leather, cut it in the correct shape, and then sewed it up, and it fits these guys perfectly. Couple of buttons. Boom. So this is the leather pouch that I rock, and I really like it. So anyways, this is what I carry now with me in my backpack almost every day. It's pretty rare that I don't have a cigar, at least one cigar in here. So I've got that. But then sometimes you want to upgrade again, and this is something that my wife just recently purchased for me. And once again, I do not remember what the name or model of this, the model of this lighter is. It's a Cigar again. As you've noticed, almost all of my stuff is Cigar. It's pretty rare that I buy something that's not a Cigar. But this is a triple torch. So when you go to toast a cigar, you know, and you don't, you know, you sit there and you toast it for a minute. You just kind of let the heat dry out the end of the cigar. Having one torch is kind of difficult, especially if you have a pretty good sized cigar, like a 58 ring. High 50s, low 60s can get kind of difficult for a single torch cigar. Lighter to torch this or toast. Sorry, I'm getting all kinds of flubbered up here. It just takes a while. So having a double or a triple really cuts down that time, and it's less likely that you're going to torch one side more than the other. So this is the nicest lighter that I have. And it's not a super expensive lighter. It's not $1,000 lighter. I think it costs around $100. But it's my favorite, and it was a gift from my wife. So of course I'll hang on to this guy forever. But ultimately, this is all I really wanted to talk about. I just wanted to show y'all my my cigars, and not really so much my cigars, but my cigar accessory EDC. So I guess the final question is what do you smoke? Well, I'm not really picky. You know, I used to smoke mainly Padron, CAO, Alec Bradley, things like that. But here recently, I have some friends that aren't quite to that level yet, and they smoke the infused cigars. So a couple are going to be like the I've never been able to pronounce this, the Jabuk Special, the Bellicoso. It's a pretty good cigar. It's coffee infused. Then you have like Drew Estates, who makes all the acids. You've got the Javas, and those are really good. And I'll be honest, I've actually recently started just smoking those. One, it's easier because I can throw some of those in my humidor, and just in case one of my buddies doesn't have one, I've got enough for both. But they have a really good flavor, and if you're looking for an entry level cigar that tastes good, and you know, you lick your lips and it's got a cool flavor, you may want to try those. My favorites are going to be the Java Mints, the Java Lattes. Now those are a little bit more expensive, but the Acid Blondes are pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of good ones, and I recommend you just go out and pick up a few and go from there. Now, cigar smoking isn't for everybody, and I'm sorry if if you don't want to smoke cigars, I'm sorry that you are still watching this video, but I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's... I didn't know why I liked it so much, and this, I'm going to finish the video with this. I was sitting with my brother-in-law, who happens actually to be a good friend of mine, and we were sitting outside and talking, and we were discussing why we like to smoke cigars. You know, it's like, what's the purpose? And we came to the conclusion that it's just, it's a reason to do nothing. That is ultimately what it is, and it's great. You know, it's very rare that you get an excuse to just go outside, sit down, drink a good drink, smoke a good cigar, and just do nothing. It's awesome. You know, if you're like me, you're just slammed all the time. You've got a wife and family, and you work a full-time job, and I'm in school. I mean, so it's just like you just going and going and going. And sometimes it's nice to just sit back and do nothing. So that's what we like to do, you know. You grab a good cigar, you get a glass of, you know, Jack and Coke or whatever it is that you like to drink. Go out with your friends, go out by yourself, it doesn't matter. Just sit outside and just chill out. Just turn your brain off for a little while. If you need to think about something, it gives you an excuse to just sit outside and think about it. You know, my wife does not love the fact that I smoke cigars, but she's very accepting, and she'll go outside and sit with me. And you know what? We just sit outside and just chat. If I just need to be by myself, she understands that I just want to go outside and smoke a cigar and just be by myself for a little bit. You know, it's a good time to go hang out with your buddies and smoke a cigar and just chat without doing anything else. You know, so that is what I'm going to stick with. You know, the reason people smoke cigars is for an excuse to do nothing. And it's awesome. So anyways, thank you for sitting through my almost 20-minute nothing video. Me talking about, you know, just something that I truly love, a passion of mine. And I hope y'all enjoy doing it too. I hope this wasn't just a waste of time. I appreciate you sitting through it, and grab a drink, grab a cigar, and just go chill for a little while. Have a good one, guys.